Joining me now, President of Wilsey Asset Management, Brent Wilsey. Brent, you know, I've done some figuring over the last couple, 3 years, and his average GDP is 1.3%. Now, we know that a couple of consecutive quarters of negative GDP is technically a recession, but 1% GDP does not an economy grow.
Yeah, and I mean, that is not obviously a very good record, Graham, because you said 1.3 over 8 years almost, 7 years, whatever it is not a very good record at all. And I'm glad you bring that to light, because a lot of people think, oh, he's done such a great job for the economy. He really has not.
Yeah, we are losing startups faster than they're being born, and that's a real problem to me. That's a real indicator of a lack of entrepreneurialism in this country, and in my opinion, it's because of the draconian regulations that the Obama administration is putting forth. But we are getting the new GDP number in, what, 6 days?
Yes, about 6 days. And I'm not looking for a great number here, Graham. We're having a hard time with the strong dollars affecting a lot of different things. The trade deficit is not looking as good as it was before. So we're having some problems. So if we get a GDP for the first quarter at 0.5% to 1%, I'd be pretty happy with that. Now, again, we had cold weather and some other things. And also, the first quarter is not usually a good number anyways. I am hoping for a rebound in the second quarter, 2 to 3%, but I'm not looking for a good number at all for the first quarter.
Do you think we'll ever return to the days of Ronald Reagan when his average GDP was around 5%? I think Bush's average was around 3%. Are we going to ever get back to these days, you think?
Well, to say ever, never is, you can't say that. But right. I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime. I hope to live another 30 years or so. But it just does not look in the cards right now. I would not say for the next 10 years, because we borrowed from the future to get through that recession, to prevent it from being a depression. So I would not expect for at least the next 10 years to have that type of growth again.
So we mortgage the future, and it's going to be trouble for our kids, frankly. Right. Okay, so you talked about the strong dollar. That's having an effect on earnings reports. How is that? How is that affecting earning reports, and why?
Well, it's two factors. One, it makes our products here that we sell in the United States more expensive because our dollar is stronger than the foreign currencies, so it makes them more expensive. Now, when the companies actually do sell their products overseas, they're sold in that foreign currency. But when the company takes that currency and brings it back to convert it, they get less. So you're using weaker currency that you're selling products for, and because the products being more expensive, you're selling less. So it's really hurting the earnings of a lot of companies right now.
So speaking of earnings, Facebook has reported, 3M, GM, they're all reporting. How are they looking?
Well, Facebook doesn't have much in the foreign sales yet. They're trying to get more into Europe, and that will be more effect from down the road. They came in at 42 cents. They beat by 2 cents. However, Graham, the surprise was they missed the revenue estimate by $20 million, and expenses are still rising for the company. And they do something they used to be called pro forma, where they say, well, here's our earnings going forward. If you look at pro forma numbers, their earnings going out to December 2016 are $2.61. If you use GAAP earnings, which are generally accepted accounting principles, it's $1.62, and based on those earnings, you're paying 52 times for forward earnings. This company is all a hype company, it's momentum, and sooner or later, people are going to realize the king is not wearing clothes.
It sounds like Tesla a little bit.
Exactly, yes. And all these high momentum companies, eventually they crash, and people say, oh, it may take 6 months, it may take 12 months, maybe longer, but do not ever overpay for a company based on earnings. You will get burnt sooner or later.
And these blue chip companies, Procter & Gamble, 3M, and GM, are they being hurt by the strong dollar as well?
Yes, and it really shows in that GM, they missed their estimate by 11 cents. It cost them in revenue $1.8 billion because of the foreign exchange. Procter & Gamble reduced their sales by 8%, and 3M, they missed the revenue estimate by $270 million. So the strong dollar and the weaker currencies are really hurting companies that sell a lot of their products overseas.
New home sales disappointing right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised in this number like everybody else. It came in last month 543,000 annualized. The estimate was 518, but the actual, and that was last month, the actual was 481. So well missed from last month and this month. The biggest region, which is the South, was down 16%. The good news here, Graham, is inventories are up 5.3 months, so there'll be more homes to buy. And also year-over-year prices are down about 1.7%. while the sales are up 19%. So bad month, but I think it's going to work itself out a little bit here.
Other side of the coin, real quick, existing home sales, not so bad.
Not so bad. They look very good. They came up 6.1% in March, about 5.19 million sales. Their sales are up about 10% year to date, and March was supposed to be around 5.04 million, so it beat that. good numbers there on existing home sales.
Mortgage rates still at historic lows, so again, now is the window to buy because eventually these low rates have to go up at some point.
Yeah, and I do predict that when rates start going up, you're going to see more people buy because then like, oh my gosh,
Yep.
rates are lower, I better get out and get now. So
I think you're dead on. All right, Brent, thanks.
You're welcome.